In Palestine, the Israeli army continues its genocidal onslaught on the northern Gaza Strip, targeting civilian homes and hospitals in the Jabalia refugee camp and forcing thousands to evacuate. With more on the current situation is our correspondent in the Strip, Huda Hegazi. Let's see.
Durante este fin de semana, el ejército de la ocupación ha continuado con sus...
Over the weekend, the Israeli occupation army has continued with its crimes and attacks against the innocent civilian population here in the Gaza Strip. First of all, I would like to highlight the attacks that have been carried out in the northern area of the Gaza Strip, specifically in the refugee camp of Jabalia, and that have especially targeted the only hospital that remains active in the area, which is the hospital of Kamal Adwan.
Destruyendo el único y último generador que quedaba activo, así como los tanques de agua que alimentaban ese hospital. Pero sin embargo,
the Israeli army carried out continuous attacks. One of them destroyed the only and last active power generator, as well as the water tanks that supplied the hospital. However, the last attack was directed at the medical personnel who were inside the hospital, as well as the direct attack on the director of the health center, Dr. Hossam Abosafia, a doctor who was inside the hospital's building who was doing his job, but unfortunately, an Israeli quadcopter attacked him directly.
En este momento, el doctor Hossam se encuentra en el interior de ese hospital recibiendo tratamiento
causing him very serious injuries. At this moment, Dr. Hossam is inside the hospital receiving medical treatment, but unfortunately, his situation remains very critical and is deteriorating due to the lack of medicines and medical supplies, but above all, due to the restrictions imposed by the Israeli regime in that area. In this regard, the message that has been spread these last days is that Dr. Hossam must be transferred to save his life, because if he continues in this situation, he could be seriously further injured and even lose his life. The other atrocities that the Israeli army has been committing have included the bombing of various civilian homes in the northern area of the Gaza Strip, but also let's highlight the evacuation notices sent by the Israeli army in the city of Gaza, especially in the area of Al-Sijaya, where a new military operation has begun. Precisely before it began, the army issued warnings, especially in the areas of Al-Sijaya and Al-Jaitum, ordering the population to evacuate immediately, forcing the people in the area to forcefully displace. Finally, I would like to emphasize the latest statement issued by Abu Abaida, who is the official spokesman for the Al-Qassam Brigades, the military wing of the Hamas movement, where he warned of the death of an Israeli hostage who was in the northern area of the Gaza Strip due to the bombing of the occupation army. He further informed of the deterioration of the health of another hostage due to the poor living conditions in the Gaza Strip, as a consequence of the lack of food and medical supplies and the severe hunger.
De la mala situación que se vive en la franja de Gaza en lo relacionado a la falta de alimentos, a la hambruna.
This statement seeks to send a message to the Zionist entity that the lives of the hostages are in grave danger as time passes and this Israeli war continues. The hostages could lose their lives, as this one did, due to the bombings of the occupation army in the northern area, and therefore, this statement has increased the tension in all the occupied territories. The hostages' families even took to the streets in continuous demonstrations.
Y por lo tanto este comunicado ha hecho aumentar la tensión en todo lo que es los territorios ocupados. Las familias de los rehenes incluso salieron en continuas manifestaciones criticando al primer ministro israelí,
criticizing the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying that a truce with the Hamas movement should be struck in order to free the hostages who are left alive here in the Gaza Strip. They also condemned and criticized that Benjamin Netanyahu only cares about his political and military interests and does not care about the lives of the hostages who are detained here in the Gaza Strip.